What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal Steven Steele, coming to you live. Happy hump day. Happy hump evening to each and every one of you fine folks. It's great to have you with us tonight. And boy, oh boy, do I've got a show for you. So strap in, get relaxed, get settled in, whether it's with some ginger tea or a stiff cocktail or something in between, because we are gonna get down to it, boppers. Before we begin, if I could just ask you to smash that like button. It's the number one thing you can do to help out the channel. Hugely appreciated. And also, if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this broadcast, that's obviously hugely appreciated for all the time and effort put into these streams. And lastly, you can still get 3 free WEBULL stocks through my partnership link pinned at the top of the chat. All you need to do is start a WEBULL account and put in a deposit. And there's no minimum to the deposit, so people have literally been putting in a penny, 10 cents, $1, whatever, and they're getting 3 free stocks, which can evolve to be worth quite a bit, actually. So feel free to take advantage of that. Without any further ado, let's see what's going on in the chat tonight. We got Keith. Keith Havens, good to see you. Says, Steve, 3 nights in a row. Cheers, brother. That girl is what nightmares are made of. I think he's talking about the video short that I uploaded earlier. 7-1, good to see you. Scott Herforth, good to see you. Marie, hello. Mama Crypto, of course. Mama Crypto. Esteban, good to see you, Esteban. Hunter Wayne, good to see you, Hunter Wayne. Louis Doge Millie, of course. Larry Ramirez, all right. Truckin' All Day celebrating 9 months of membership. Time flies when we're having fun. Truckin' All Day, it has been with us. Definitely one of the long-term veteran viewers for sure. Esteban says, Steven Steele, can I send you a Valentine? Can I send you Dogecoin for Valentine's Day via Robinhood? Yes, you very well can. I won't turn that down. That sounds like a nice, kind gesture. Thank you. Who else we got? Alan Schneider, of course. Hey, Christina. I haven't seen Christina in a long time. Great to see you in the mix, Christina. Brad Hussong. Good to see you, Brad. Who else do we got? Oh, yeah, Nurse Terry. Nurse Terry Reed. Awesome to see you, Nurse Terry. Yes, indeed. Chico Doge. A name so nice, you got to say it twice. Good to see you in the mix. Dan the Man as well. Shout out to Carolina. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. I think I got about, Zombie Doge Army, of course. What stream is complete with the Zombie Doge Army? Louis Doge Millie kicking things off with a $2 super chat. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Dogecoin to the moon. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Speaking of which, that brings me to the first story for the evening. This comes courtesy of Investor Place. Dogecoin Superbowl commercial rumors heat back up amid Doge crypto rally. Now, there's been a lot of rumors circulating all around, and I've heard it left and right, that there may be an epic Dogecoin commercial premiering this Sunday for Super Bowl Sunday. Now, is this going to happen? Do I have any insider information? I don't, folks. I wish I did. But how probable is this? Let's explore. Dogecoin fans are barking up a storm today as the coin jumped more than 10% headed into the afternoon. There are several culprits behind the most recent jump, including one big Dogecoin Super Bowl commercial rumor gaining traction on social media. So, will Dogecoin be making a Super Bowl appearance? Americans everywhere look forward to the Super Bowl. Even those who generally don't follow the sports tune into what might be their only football viewing experience. Part of the thrill undeniably stems from the commercials and halftime show, which tend to pull out all stops. Today, Dogecoin commercial rumors have taken over social media. If you recall, last year, a fan-made Dogecoin advertisement made its way across social media, convincing some that Doge would make an appearance during the last Super Bowl. Well, despite the effort into the fake advertisement, Super Bowl Sunday came and went with no avail for the coin. This year, however, there might be just something in the air. Hordes of Dogecoin fans are all over social media and once again hoping for a potential ad spot on the biggest network event of the year. Aside from the swirling Super Bowl rumors, Dogecoin is profiting off of a number of celebrity occasions. One such news item is related to the Dogecoin Twitter account, which Saturday reached 3 million followers. That is massive, you guys. That is massive. Particularly, why don't we look up to see how many followers the official Bitcoin account has on Twitter? Why don't we check that out real quick, shall we? It'd be a nice comparison. So Bitcoin has 4.6 million, but that is obviously not a surprise considering the size and scope and market cap of Bitcoin, right? If we look up, does Ethereum even have an official Twitter page? I believe they do. Well, let's look that up real quick. Oh yes, of course they do, and it's verified. So this is even more telling, folks. Ethereum, which has the second largest market cap out of all cryptos in the world, has 2.2 million followers. So Dogecoin has nearly 1 million more followers to its Twitter account than the second market cap, folks. And people ask me why I'm so bullish long-term about Dogecoin. Some people may say it's preposterous that I think Dogecoin is eventually going to get to that number 3 market cap, and even potentially, in my opinion, number 2 over a course of period of time. I think at least number 3 for Dogecoin seems highly, highly probable in the long run. And I think, and the more I'm thinking about it, I think that the probability of Ethereum flipping Dogecoin, well, I'd say within the next 2 years is pretty decent, is pretty good. My apologies to all the Bitcoin maxis out there, but I think that this is a greater and greater probability. Now, Ethereum is the number 1 go-to blockchain for most all things NFT related, metaverse related, and so on. And obviously things have been trending there more and more, and neither one of those things are going anywhere. A fair debate can be made to how impactful, however, NFTs and how integral NFTs and the metaverse will be in the future. But one thing's for sure that I feel very certain about is neither one of these markets are going anywhere, and both of them are going to keep expanding their reach, expanding the scope of influence, and the way we interact with it, and the more people that interact with it in everyday life. Now, Bitcoin is kind of evolved, obviously, into a digital gold store of value, a very hard cap that is not going to be expanded. Ethereum, much like Dogecoin, does not have a hard cap, and I think, let's say in the future, 4 or 5 years from now, it would not surprise me, folks. It would not surprise me if we saw Ethereum as the world's most popular cryptocurrency. Not only most popular, but having the largest market cap. Dogecoin at number 2 or 3, or toggling between those positions, and Bitcoin between Bitcoin being at 2 or 3 as well. Now, this seems to be to some, particularly those who are incredibly bullish on Bitcoin, and I am bullish on Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin, but those who are more maximalist-minded Bitcoin may find this prediction or assertion rather preposterous. All things considered, I only see further applicable use cases for Ethereum that is doing nothing but expanding each and every day. Dogecoin, of course, filling the shoes of the much-needed role of a digital currency to be transacted in an everyday way for transactions both large and small. Dogecoin does it better, faster, and cheaper than both Bitcoin and Ethereum in that regard. And this is an emerging chasm that needs to be filled, folks. There are so many companies, businesses, and corporations fully ready and in the process of embracing digital currency, and they need to know, and they will find out, I believe, sooner than later as time has gone on, that Dogecoin is perfectly positioned to be that digital currency that they can actually profit off of rather than just say they accept it, right? It's nice and it sounds good to say that we accept Bitcoin as a company, but as you guys well know, or most of the viewers anyway are well aware of, that generally people don't spend Bitcoin. And that's okay. Not every crypto has to have the same role. In fact, it's obviously better if different projects and different cryptos and different veteran cryptos specialize in different things, and that's okay. And where one's weakness begins, that is another project's strength, right? And so forth and so forth. Anyway, what's going on in the chat? People are talking about Valentine's Day. All crypto is going to blow up, says Keith. Yeah, I'm very bullish on digital currency overall. Arcade Cup says, my financial fried rice for the day. You can always tell who a crypto Batman watcher is. You can always tell. Moonbats are very much welcome on the stream. We've got an incredible crossover in audiences, I would say, primarily between Crypto Batman's show and Lucy, Living with Lucy. Got a lot of folks that watch Living with Lucy that always show up here. And of course, there's some overflow from Matt Wallace as well. My financial fried rice of the day is 200K ETH in 5 years. You know who agrees? You know who agrees with that prediction? Arcade Cup is ARK Investments. Now, ARK Investments, the CEO, of course, being none other than the legendary Cathie Wood, who I'm pretty fond of. Overall. ARK Investments actually predicted Ethereum to 200,000 within 5 years and Bitcoin to 1 million within 5 years. How probable do I think this is? I would give it about a 50-50. And these are incredibly, obviously, some would say outlandishly bullish predictions. But hey, Cathie Wood has a very good track record in terms of her projections in general. And the trends that she follows, she always seems to be a bit ahead of the curve. So I wouldn't write that off so quickly. I think $200,000 Ethereum will happen. I do think it's fairly probable to happen within the next 5 years. I even think $1 million Bitcoin could happen in the next 5 years. And I certainly, without a doubt, folks, think that there's going to be a $2 Dogecoin within the next 5 years. 71 is dating Lucy. 71's dating Lucy? Is that true? Are you guys just spreading rumors out there? Let's see. Anyway, let's go to the next story, guys. Oh my goodness. I covered this one last night, and those of you who follow my Twitter probably saw the supercut from this woman's TikTok that I had I had released on Twitter. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, make it happen. What are you doing? It's Mr. MR Steven Steele _. That's the only legit one. There's been so many fake profiles of me popping up that I can hardly keep up. I'm hoping to get verified this year just so I can combat that very thing. And just for the record, I will never message you guys asking for money or encouraging you to involve me in your investments or anything else like that. I'll never do that. So if you get a DM from somebody saying that they're Steven Steele doing as such, that is not me. Report that person, block that person, and for the love of God, don't listen to them. Now, the story is alleged crypto launderer Heather Morgan led a second life as the world's worst rapper, reports Engadget. Laundering billions in Bitcoin may not even be the worst crime of her life, subheadline. So her name is Heather Morgan. She hails from New York because, of course, she does. And she's 31 years old. And her husband recently got busted for laundering over $4.5 billion in Bitcoin. Just an insane amount of money that's hard to wrap your head around. And they were recently arrested and allegedly attempted to launder more than 25,000 Bitcoins that were stolen as a part of a 2016 hack of Hong Kong-based cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex. What was unclear to us at the time was that even a greater crime had been played out across Morgan's social media pages, her rap career. Spotted by NBC reporter Kevin Collier, Morgan, who performed under the alias Razzlecon, seemingly spent all of the time she was not allegedly shifting around 3.6 billion in cryptocurrency shooting rap videos, leaving very little precious bandwidth to actually learn how to write or perform music in a pleasing way. Her YouTube page can find Morgan's rap videos sprinkled in between unboxing clips and a review of 13 different kinds of aluminum-free deodorant. Oh my gosh. This woman is a walking, talking, rapping meme. She's like a character. She's like a character in Kids in the Hall, or you know what she kind of reminds me of? She kind of reminds me of a hybrid between all the most annoying people I had ever met from art school meets the girl you never want to talk to at a party with that was a character off of SNL, I think about 10 years ago. I forget the woman's name who would play that character, eludes me, but she reminds me of a hybrid of both of these things. So this woman on her YouTube channel reviewed 13 different kinds of aluminum-free deodorants. She's very passionate about her aluminum-free deodorant, and trust me, I'm not a huge proponent for aluminum deodorant. I'm rather indifferent on the subject. I suppose I would default. I usually buy more natural-esque products overall, but I mean, that's some passion. 13 different kinds. She is the self-proclaimed crocodile of Wall Street, something and often resembles something between an acid trip and a delightful nightmare. I wouldn't call it delightful. Anyone that saw the video clips that I posted of this woman's TikTok on my Twitter page would probably beg to differ. She's got this trademark thing that she always does in every single TikTok where it's like, I'm not thinking of that's what she does. That's what she does. So this woman's walking around a illegal billionaire, and she this is what she chose to do with her life as a billionaire, guys. I mean, honestly, I think I said last night something to the effect, listening to her reminds me of being in a one-way conversations I used to find myself trapped in at hipster parties I never wanted to be at in my younger days. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, she is the epitome of why perhaps it's not a good idea to move to New York in 2022. I think we've covered this one enough, and people are laughing, getting a lot of entertainment out of it, and for good reason. Now, Benzinga is reporting. Listen to this, guys. Dogecoin showing 3 key bullish patterns. A shot at 20 cents may very well be next. Yes, indeed. This is coming courtesy of Melanie Schaefer. Dogecoin was consolidating sideways today in a continuation pattern called out on Monday. The crypto ran 28.8% higher between February 3rd and February 7th, which made Dogecoin due for consolidation in order to cool down its relative strength index. The crypto market has taken a swing higher over recent weeks, with Bitcoin gaining 35% off its June 24th low, Ethereum rebounding 51% after its low. A break in Dogecoin's current pattern could come as soon as Thursday, tomorrow, folks, because the crypto has developed into 3 possible bullish chart patterns. And I checked out these chart patterns myself, and all 3 of them are indeed bullish. So after my analysis, of this Benzinga analysis and soft prediction, I would say this is a pretty darn good probability that we could see Dogecoin break out sometime tomorrow. Heck, even up to the neighborhood of 18, 19, yes, and even 20 cents. So look for some possible very bullish moves coming from Dogecoin within the next couple days, folks. I think it's looking good. All I can say, I mean, nothing's for certain, but I can tell you all the charting is looking good there. Corey E celebrating 4 months of membership, big Doge energy. And I want to thank everyone who's got memberships, that's been hanging on through these memberships, even through markets that aren't doing so great. I hugely appreciate it. I hugely appreciate you guys continuously tuning in, no matter what the market is doing. And I'm not a fair weather fan, right? I'm not a fair weather fan. I am here no matter what the market is doing, and I like to come together with you guys and have fun and deliver you guys the news the best way I know how anyway. And we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep grooving no matter what this market is doing. We're going to keep the positive momentum going. Xena is the business. Dogecoin may go up due to Mercury retrograde. That is a term I keep hearing from people who are very much into astrological stuff. Mercury retrograde. I know Marin talks a lot about Mercury retrograde. I get a big kick out of her. And she's, she really knows how to bring a lot of attention to herself. And, she's good at what she does. She's good at what she does. But, hey, if Mercury retrograde is what it's going to take to get... to put the moon boots on us, I'm all for it. Johnny Yabera, that's a name I haven't seen in the chat in a long time. Member for 7 months now. VIP membership. Man, I love it. Johnny Yabera, one of my earliest supporters. Great to see you in the mix. Just want to say hi to everyone. Been out of the loop. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Johnny Yabera, salute you. Hector the Dude coming in, slid in there somewhere along the lines. Mama Crypto also in the mix. Let's see, what else? Frank also in the mix. Good to see you guys. So, there's some very bullish signals, right? Among all three of the main charts for Dogecoin, showing that we could see a Dogecoin breakout as soon as tomorrow, ascending perhaps potentially towards 20 cents. Certainly wouldn't surprise me given everything that I've been looking at as well. Now, next story, guys. Next story. Cryptocurrency trading to end in Hawaii. If legislature doesn't act, what's going on in Honolulu? What's going on? Well, I'll tell you, folks, cryptocurrency could be coming to an end in the islands. That's if the legislature doesn't pass new legislation. Digital currency has become a nearly $1 billion industry in the state, but trading things like Bitcoin could become illegal if the pilot program that allows it to operate outside its strict laws is not replaced with a new law. Hawaii's Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs made a ruling in 2016 that cryptocurrencies were regulated as money transmitters, essentially blocking them from trading. Right now, we're treating cryptocurrency exchanges companies that turn the US dollar to Bitcoin and other types of digital currencies as money transmitters that are like Western Union. Because of that classification, most of these exchanges do not want to operate or service customers in Hawaii, tech expert Ryan Auza said. Well, this is disconcerting to our friends in Hawaii. I love that state, by the way. I love Hawaii. I've been there 3 times in my life, and all times I got a little bit better surfing each time. But I kind of had an advantage when I first began surfing in that I grew up skateboarding since I was a little kid. So I had that background on me. And I might have told this story once before on the air. I'll share it with you very briefly. I almost passed away in Hawaii. This was my second time to Hawaii, and we were in the island of Kauai, and we got up very early, my travel companion and I, and we got breakfast. And after breakfast, or when the waitress gave us our bill, she said, "You guys going surfing today?" And he said, "Yeah." And I told her where we were going, the beach front of which, the name of it, which eludes me at this moment, but it was right by a military base. So that's how I just kind of described it. And then she looked at us and went, when I told her we were going surfing, she looked at us and went, "Oh." And then she walked away, and I was like, well, that was very peculiar. That was strange, right? So we get out there. The waves are perfect. Especially for someone, I'm not an expert surfer by any means. I'm okay. I can get up on the waves and I can coast them in, and I can do a little bit of turning, but that's about it. Now, I was out there riding the waves, right? We were doing it to it. My friend, who was surfing more out in the distance while I was paddling out, normally a very mellow dude. I mean, this guy was mellow yellow, if you know what I mean. He was riding a wave in, and I saw an expression on this man's face that I had never seen before in my life. And that expression was of raw raw fear. Okay. And he just shouted out as loud as he could, "Go in, go in." And I was like, okay, all right. And then he started shouting one word. One word. And I couldn't quite make it out. And I'll tell you what that word was. But before I tell you what that word was, my time before out onto the waves after that, I had a wave crash me into the ocean floor. I really ate it, you guys. And consequently, I ended up with a sizable cut on my forehead. I was bleeding. I didn't want to take time out from the bleeding wound in my forehead because I'm out here in Kauai on a perfect day, perfect weather, perfect waves. I'm not going to let this cut stop me. So keep in mind, I was swimming out to catch another wave with blood kind of streaming down my forehead. And by the time I figured out what my friend was saying, which was the word shark, I could see the fin following my friend. Literally following my friend. It was one of the most surreal moments I've ever experienced in my whole life. It was like right out of a movie. I couldn't believe I was living this. And then that pit in my chest and in my stomach, I was like, oh my gosh, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. So the next wave was coming in. It was a pretty good size, and I knew I had to make this wave. And I gave this shark bait. In fact, there's probably a decent probability that the reason why the shark was there was because of the cut on my forehead. So here comes this wave coming towards me, and I realize I really better catch it. And I'm not a great surfer, guys. I'm really not. So it started coming in. I'm paddling. I'm trying to line it up right. And thank goodness I did. Thank goodness we both did. Because the closer we got into shore, then we finally saw that fin turn off, right? Saw that fin turn off. We both escaped unscathed from there, folks. Later on, when we were getting dinner out on a patio and we were by this tiki bar, the bartender told us, we told him what had happened to us that day, and he laughed at us and he said, well, yeah, that's why nobody else was out there, because we were astonished, like no one else is surfing out here. We got this whole beach to ourselves on this wonderful day. We're lucky us. He said, well, guys, the reason why nobody surfs out there right now is because there's a shark that took off a guy's limb there just 2 weeks ago. So, and here we were, naively and stupidly, surfing out there, thinking we were like scored the jackpot, right? Well, we almost became some shark's lunch that day, and fortunately we didn't. Anyway, Johnny Abera coming in with huge, big Doge energy with 99.99. Are you out of your mind? $100 make you holler. Big red on the scene, if you know what I mean. Thank you so much, Johnny. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for literally helping to keep the lights on over here at Steele HQ. Much, much appreciated. Johnny says, to buying the dips and riding the waves, diamond hand. Thanks for being awesome to the crypto community. Thank you, Sir Beck. I really appreciate you, Johnny. Johnny, one of my first listeners before I even had a YouTube channel. I'd bark into my iPhone, kind of in a general similar format to that I do now across the Twitterverse, and Johnny would tune in very regularly. One of my first listeners. So thank you, Johnny. Hugely appreciate it, man. And I hope life is treating you well. You deserve it. Great guy, great guy. Everyone give a round of applause for Johnny. Thank you so much, man. Hugely appreciated. See what's going on in the chat. A good thing it wasn't a Sharknado. Now that would be quite a way to go out in a Sharknado. I like the Sharknado. I like the first Sharknado movie. I think that's where Ian Ziering really found his chops, really found his calling there. Yeah, that is a wild super chat. Thank you so much, Johnny. Tara Romano, good to see you in the mix. Haven't seen you in a bit. Much love to y'all. Hope you're having a good 2022. So far, so good. For the most part. Hey, Steven, have also been out of the loop here, but want to pop in and say hi. Hi back So great to see you, Tara. I love seeing people come back into the fold after taking a break. I know not everyone can tune in every time I stream live. Sometimes people have to take a break. Sometimes life just takes those twists and turns and you have other obligations. I get it. I understand. But it's so good to see people that I haven't seen in a bit circle back in and into the fold. Congratulations on a 1-year anniversary of this channel, Steve. Northwoods Petrie, thank you. I don't think I'm quite there. I think I'm very close. I think technically my first broadcast was the first week in March. I could be wrong, but I have to double check that. And anyway, we'll have to do a 1-year anniversary party stream for sure. We're going to do a 1-year party stream anniversary. Well, party, that's kind of redundant, but I'll figure something out. You guys. By the way, if you haven't hit that like button, it's hugely helpful to work through these. YouTube's algorithms are so tricky, and the only way you can kind of navigate through them to reach more people is by you hitting the like button. So if you haven't done that, please take a moment to do that. Hugely appreciated. Santana Jaws, someone said, this is the best thing on YouTube and the best energy of people, says Diamond Hands Freddy. Firstly, Diamond Hands Freddy, thank you so much for that huge compliment. I don't know if that's true, but I try. I do my best. But I will agree with you that this is the best community, hands down. I've got the best community, hands down, here on this channel. I feel very blessed. We've got amazing energy here, and we always have a good time, no matter what's going on out there. So, hats off to you guys. And here's to, anyway, what a tangent I took when talking about the potential end of cryptocurrency in Hawaii. So let's circle back to that, and let's hope the legislators do the right thing in Hawaii and get it together, pass new legislation to protect access to cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency trading in Hawaii. Speaking of territories that are advancing or de-advancing in cryptocurrency, the Russian government and central banks agree to treat Bitcoin as currency. Cryptocurrency transactions, blah, blah, blah. The government and Central Bank of Russia had reached an agreement on how to regulate cryptocurrency according to Tuesday's announcement. Basically what happened, you guys, is Russia put kind of a hold on the trading of cryptocurrency until they could figure out how to profit off it, until the government could figure out how to secure its bags and profit off it. And once they've done that, now they're kind of opening the floodgates. They're putting some regulations on it and normalizing cryptocurrency to the degree that it's, well, going to be an official, accepted, legal currency in the country of Russia. They're certainly beating us to it. Most of our elected officials can't even seem to grasp their head around the very basics of how digital currency works. I mean, in fact, sometimes I think some of these folks barely know how to operate a smartphone. So, let alone a trading exchange. So, yeah, Russia's moving forward there. And now we see El Salvador, of course, is very much so. And other territories in South America are really moving forward. And hopefully, one thing that we can count on is that no matter who's in power, is the government's always going to want our tax dollars, right? And so that the thing that we kind of all loathe, taxes, is also a thing I think that's going to protect the crypto market from getting totally stranglehold in America. So, and I do think over time, and I don't even think so much so in the distant future, I think the government in America is going to put some regulations on cryptocurrency and have it progress forward and embrace the adoption, etc., etc. So now, next story. This one's coming courtesy of Cointelegraph. McDonald's files trademarks for what would you call a metaverse? What would you call a McDonald's metaverse? If you had to come up with a name, well, you would call it the McMetaverse. Yes, McDonald's files trademarks for McMetaverse, restaurants that deliver. The Golden Arches poked fun at crypto investors last month, but now it's embraced the metaverse by applying for trademarks for its brand of the virtual world. The iconic American restaurant chain looks like it is preparing to make a move into the metaverse by registering it for 10 trademarks in the virtual space. Trademark attorney and founder, Gerben Intellectual Property, tweeted today that McDonald's submitted a trademark applied on February 4th, which included plans for a virtual restaurant featuring actual and virtual goods and operating a virtual restaurant featuring home delivery. That's kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of McDonald's food by any means, but that's kind of cool. Based on the application, the restaurant chain will be able to provide downloadable multimedia files for artwork, audio, and video files, and NFTs. McDonald's also included its McCafe. Well, they're not too innovative or creative with their names. But I guess I don't think people are drawn to McDonald's for creativity. But everything that they name in McDonald's, they just put MC before it. McCafe. McRib. The McRib, I don't even think there were ribs in the McRib. It was like faux ribs. It was like a ribbed-shaped plank of meat. That's what it was, the McRib. But if I had to eat at McDonald's, and I'm not a big fan, I would default to some of those breakfast menu items. I think the breakfast, in my opinion, far exceeds the quality of the rest of the menu. Especially those buttery biscuits. Butter my biscuits. That's right. McDonald's will be competing against other emerging virtual concert organizers like animal concerts, such concerts. I don't know what they're going off on right there. I don't know. Its plans include downloadable content, NFTs, virtual food. Is anyone really chomping at the bit, no pun intended, for McDonald's NFTs? Ooh, I gotta have a McDonald's NFT. I gotta have that Grimace. I gotta have the Burglar. What is that guy's name? Hamburglar. Thank you, the Hamburglar NFT. You know what I do have fond memories of as a kid is the Shamrock Shake, the limited edition Shamrock Shake. It was a bit vanilla and a bit cool minty. It was a refreshing Shamrock Shake. I'm surprised they didn't call it the Shamrock Milkshake or the McShamrock, even better. Maybe I should try to join the marketing team over there. I don't think I could sleep with in good conscience marketing McDonald's to the masses. I think there are more appropriate callings for my life. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Tara says the only thing I eat at McDonald's is their oatmeal. Probably a good policy there, Tara. Terry Reed says, so McGross. Yes. The best thing to get from McDonald's is an ice cream cone. Yeah, provided the ice cream machine isn't broken. And I covered a whole story on why the McDonald's ice cream machines are always broken on a couple different episodes. I don't even know how you'd look that up. I think it was in the title of one night, but it's like a whole thing, man. It's like a whole rabbit hole on why that is, and it has to do with money and monopolies and franchise owner. Like they purposely build these ice cream machines. They build them to break, so they break down often so that they can make a lot more money on forcing McDonald's franchise owners to constantly pay for repairs. You see, it's a whole racket. It's a whole racket. Remember McDonald's would sometimes, and this isn't just exclusive McDonald's, but and Chuck E. Cheese's and things like that. There's like the sea of, I don't know how else to put this, guys. The sea of balls, the sea of plastic balls that you would jump in. I think it's a really kind of fun thing, especially as a kid. But the older you get, you start thinking about the sanitation levels of these plastic balls, and then you quickly realize that anytime toddlers are underwater or under anything, the probability that they are going to wet their pants exponentially increases by quite a margin. And then you start thinking to yourself, how many soiled diapers have been occupied in this sea of plastic balls? And then you got to ask yourself, I wonder what the urination and fecal matter count is on these things. And I think that reason alone is why these things aren't nearly as popular as they used to be. But remember that was, I don't even know if that's still a thing, but McDonald's would have like the little playground centers and stuff for kids. Yeah, I don't even know if that's much of a thing anymore. Anyway, guys, next story. This one also comes courtesy of Cointelegraph. NFT prices misfires. OpenSea daily active user volume drops 30% in a week. This is pretty significant, guys, and this is kind of breaking news. OpenSea closed out over 1.3 billion in sales over the last 7 days, yet the number of daily active users on the platform dropped more than 30%. While it seems OpenSea is keeping pace with January's total volume of 5 billion by generating over 1.3 billion in total volume over the last 7 days, the number of active users, guys, for OpenSea has decreased by more than 30%, according to the data from Dune Analytics. Are we beginning to see a lull in trader activity as a sign of an impending market pullback, or are investors and collectors taking their trading activities elsewhere? Great question. Great question. There are a few factors that could be influencing OpenSea's overall decrease in volume and drop off in active users. After all, nothing lasts forever. Hopefully the NFT market doesn't fail to surprise either. Now, a couple questions come to mind when I hear this kind of report come out. What was the drop in the 30% of users on OpenSea in correlation to Ethereum gas fees? I bet we'll more than likely see a direct correlation between a rise in gas fees and a fall in profits and usership. In fact, Ethereum gas fees, as I recall, got pretty astronomical again about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, particularly. Probably in that window of time when usership went down significantly. I think they are tied directly together. I do think, like I said before, I do think that NFTs are in a bit of a bubble, but I just think it's a bit of a bubble. I think they're very much here to stay. I don't think the vibrancy and the enthusiasm from the market is going anywhere. Now, that being said, I think there's room in this market. I think there's room in this market for a very formidable alternative to OpenSea. I think the most probable scenario, or rather the most formidable opponent to OpenSea, for an OpenSea alternative rather, will be the one launched by Coinbase. Coinbase is launching its own NFT marketplace, and they are so incredibly well moneyed and pretty well organized and pretty staffed up that I think that the NFT marketplace that Coinbase is going to launch will probably be the most formidable opponent to OpenSea. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Gas fees are very bad, turns me off from NFTs. Look, I get it. I understand. NFTs aren't for everyone. That's for sure. They're pretty high risk overall. I will say a good rule of thumb is, regarding NFTs, is try to get in on mint day. Try to get it on mint price. Because most mint prices, they're not gonna damage the pocketbook that severely, with the exception of a few collections. Now, there are some good deals to be had on OpenSea, and I've made them, and I've flipped a few and made some money that way. But overall, a general rule of thumb, you want to be purchasing most of your NFTs at mint price. Just a little bit of, I'm not a financial advisor, blah blah blah, financial fried rice, etc. But take for that what you will. Now, next story here, guys. This one's pretty interesting. Futurism reporting. Scientists unlock decades-old mystery behind glow on Saturn. So basically, scientists have recently discovered, you guys, why Saturn glows. This unlikely pair of findings answers decade-old questions about the ringed planet. Planetary scientists believe they've unlocked not just one, but two of Saturn's many mysteries while studying its atmospheric currents. A team of scientists, led by a name I can't pronounce, astronomer at a university of in the United Kingdom, says that it has found what powers the ringed planet's spectacular yet little understood auras in a study published by Geophysical Research Letters Journal. Before now, there were 2 known atmospheric mechanisms behind the gorgeous. That's oh, it's such a great use of the word. Behind the gorgeous planetary phenomenon. I gotta read this again. Before now, there were 2 known atmospheric mechanisms behind the gorgeous planetary phenomenon, including Earth's own aurora borealis, interaction with charged particles that flow from the sun, and in the case for Earth, volcanic materials from the planet's orbiting moon, like on Jupiter. Now, with Saturn's auroras, which are first glimpsed back in 1979, are also partially caused by volcanic materials, and scientists believe they have now discovered an additional mechanism. Here's the meat of it, guys. According to their research, some of the auroras are also created by swirling winds that take place within Saturn's own atmosphere. The distinction is important not only because it unlocks the mystery behind some of the planet's huge, stunning auroras, but also because it helps astronomers piece together an answer to another decade-old question. Astronomers have spent subsequent 18 years scratching their heads over the unlikely rapid change in day length. So basically what we're looking at, the rings of Saturn consist of volcanic materials, okay, and kind of wind patterns that are very intense in orbiting, right? And so that is kind of it in a nutshell, as I understand it. It's the first time planetary scientists have discovered a link between a planet's day length and its auroras. Chowdhury explained. So I don't know. I thought that was a cool story. I always kind of like to follow space exploration and space-related science on the side when I can. It's just a topic of interest for me. Now, next story, Morning Glory. Those of you who saw the thumbnail for this evening's show may thought it looked familiar, and that's because it is a picture of the Tesla Roadster that Elon Musk chucked into space 4 years ago. We are now on the 4-year anniversary of when Elon Musk shot a literal Tesla into space, manned and being driven, still as we speak, by a mannequin dressed up as an astronaut named, what's his name? Starman. It's got a very Bowie-esque mythos to it, doesn't it? And this website is reporting, it's jalopnik.com. Well, that's a peculiar name, jalopnik.com. It was 4 years ago that Musk strapped his personal cherry red Roadster to the Falcon Heavy. At the helm of the Tesla was a spacesuit-wearing mannequin named Starman. As of the writing of this article, it's currently more than 235 million miles from Earth. It's also moving away from us. And guess how fast it's going, you guys? And it's still completely intact, by the way. It's going over 3,200 miles per hour, according to the website whereisroadster.com, which has been diligently tracking the Roadster since its launch. By the way, whereisroadster.com is a great website, and you like it says, you can literally track Starman and Elon's Tesla throughout space. I wonder if there'll be limits to how far it can track it, though. That'll be interesting. This is certainly the highest mileage Tesla Roadster in the galaxy. The car has traveled nearly 2 billion miles and completed 2.6 loops around the sun, mostly in a barren, empty vacuum, according to the site. The car is still in one piece. That, to me, is insane, you guys. The car is still in one piece. Now, if that's not an advertisement for Tesla, I don't know what is. A car that can travel a few billion miles and still be in one piece. However, it's more than likely that it's been dinged by Metroids during its voyage. Well, naturally. The Roadster has had a couple close-ish encounters while in space. In 2020, the Tesla got within 5 million miles of Mars. You know, just 5 billion miles within Mars. That may sound like a lot, but in space terms, it's right next door. It's right next door. So I don't know. I just thought that was a cool story. That was a cool story. And it's just funny that it's still rotating and still moving and grooving out there. Larry Ramirez coming in with a $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Tesla stock IPO at 17. I do believe personally, I think that Tesla is going to overtake the value of Apple in time. I do believe that's in the destiny of Tesla. Very bullish on Tesla personally. Keith is like, man, what are you talking about tonight? Arcade Cup, I asked my parents to send me to space camp. Instead, they gave me a computer. Well, a computer's not bad, Arcade Cup. You know what? There's a movie called Space Camp from the 1980s that's it was pretty decent as I recall. I also had a night, actually, my first demo CD of my last band that was together for quite some time. We did a lot of touring. The first demo CD I cut, it was like a five song EP, and it was called Space Camp Luxury. That was the name of it, Space Camp Luxury. And I listened to it for the first time in years, a couple months ago, and it really stood the test of time. It kind of reminded me of like very early, like kind of a lo-fi version of Duran Duran, or Duran, if you will. Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. $2 make you holler, Larry Ramirez, just for the heck of it. Jeff Bezos, he says. And that's how I pronounce Jeff's name. So thank you, Larry. Always appreciate you, man. Always appreciate you. Let's get to another story, shall we? Another story, Morning Glory. So the trading platform FTX is doing a tremendous free Bitcoin giveaway during the Super Bowl. I won't belabor you with all the details, but they're literally giving away $1.5 million worth of Bitcoin, I believe, to 4 different recipients. How you can enter to win, I think, is determinant on watching FTX's official Twitter account. So it's going to have, I imagine, it's going to have something to do with retweeting to enter, and then they are going to pick 4 people to divide among $1.5 million of Bitcoin during the Super Bowl and announce those winners by the end of the Super Bowl, I believe. So that is wild. I certainly will be keeping an eye on FTX's Twitter account, but I thought that was pretty cool. Again, this is also a very bullish sign. This shows us just how increasingly mainstream digital currency has becoming, that it's really becoming just popularized to degrees that we've never seen before. I mean, not even close. When you look at where we were just 1 year ago in terms of notoriety and how many people even heard of or knew what cryptocurrency was, there's no comparison. We've never seen over the last year and a half the kind of growth in popularity as it relates to cryptocurrency that we have seen ever before. So I think these are very, very encouraging signs. Very encouraging signs. Now, a bit of good news, guys. A bit of good news. I'm pulling up the story right now in the notes. So just today, it was announced that the U.S. Figure Skating Board accepts Dogecoin for its donations. The governing body overseeing the sports figure skating in the United States, U.S. Figure Skating, has given the go-ahead to those wanting to donate to the body in various cryptocurrencies. And today, they announced that they will accept Dogecoin. So that's cool. That's great. I mean, I really like figure skating. I really like watching it too. I really admire the gracefulness, the technique, and the discipline it requires to be a successful figure skater. It's just not in the cards for me, but I have a strong appreciation for it, and it takes a credible amount of strength for real. Let's see here. What else do we got on the roster? Jimmy Kimmel mocks Oscars for nominating Don't Look Up but not Spider-Man No Way Home. In a rare occurrence, I actually agree with Jimmy Kimmel on this. Jimmy Kimmel said, asking loudly why Spider-Man No Way Home is obliterating box office records was passed over in favor of the satirical comedy Don't Look Up. I like Don't Look Up too, with the reason I thought it was a little bit heavy-handed, but I thought it did fine. But Spider-Man No Way Home Didn't even get 1 of 10 nominations for Best Picture, Kimmel asked. Forget the fact that the movie made $750 million and is still going. This was a great movie, and it wasn't in the top 10 best movies of the year. There were 3 Spider-Men in it. You're telling me Don't Look Up was better than Spider-Man? Well, certainly was not, said, surprisingly, Jimmy Kimmel. If you go by critics' reviews and Rotten Tomatoes, Don't Look Up just got 46%. Spider-Man No Way Home got 90%. For God's sake, Jackass Forever has an 89%. Kimmel continued. Has anyone seen Spider-Man No Way Home? It's been such a long time since I've actually even physically gone to a movie theater to see a movie, so I haven't had a chance to see it, but I've heard wonderful things about it. Let's see, what else do we got in the mix? Let's see. Terry Reed says, example, if the commercial airs in 8 minutes into the game, they will give away 8 Bitcoin. Got it. Thank you, Terry, for shedding some more light on that. What else is going on in the chat here? I think I'm all caught up what you guys were talking about. And also, the Olympics is still going on now. I love the Winter Olympics. I'm going to try to tune in while I still can. I've just been so enormously busy, guys, that the amount of time I have to even watch anything televised is super limited. But I personally love the Winter Olympics. I love Winter Games. I love bobsledding. I love skiing, downhill slalom, all that stuff. I'm a big winter sports fan. And I grew up skiing. I grew up skiing and snowboarding. And I actually was on a slalom team as a youngster. Anyway, guys, that's about all I have for tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, I'm super active there. You guys can always hit me on the DMs there. My DMs are open. Always love hearing from you guys. Let's stay connected. Let's keep the positivity moving. Let's keep the Doge momentum going strong. Yes, indeed. This was a great show. Always great to see you guys. Really appreciate it. I will be back soon. Until then, this is your man, Real Deal, Steven Steele, signing out.